Peace to the family. How are my good brothers and sisters doing on this glorious alleged Sunday? I want to have a nice build with you all about death, breakups, and betrayal. And where does the money fit in? That's the conversation I want to have. I hope you guys have the stomach for it. So, I don't do depressing, so I'm not looking to make this depressing, but a lot of people in my world are going through quite a bit. And so it seems to be a recurring theme. And oftentimes when things are going on in my world, the people that I'm interconnected with, such as you all, you guys may be going through it massively as well. So that being the case, I just wanted to let you guys know that change is inevitable. The only thing constant in this universe, or the one constant thing in this universe you could rely on to be consistent, is in fact change. And in fact, if it doesn't change, it's dead. And if it's dead, it died. And if it died, it was alive. And if it was alive, it's once living. And therefore, it's still part of the process, the inevitable process of change. They won't let me pin my joint to the top. But you go to Polight.com. So yeah, no matter what you're going through, I know it's rough out here. I know what it is to be connected to somebody for so long. It could be what appears to be a short period of time in someone else's opinion, but almost an eternity for you, depending on your connection with that person. It could be extremely difficult to continue doing your work while dealing with that anxiety. So I know a lot of you have loved ones that's sick. I got that going on myself. A lot of you going through breakups. A lot of you going through the betrayal process with people that you feel is close to you. But no matter what you do, you can't let that F up the money. Because the last thing you need is financial woes. And if you've already been working towards a process, it's part of the universe to see what you could accomplish during heightened times of adversity. It may reek of or smell of the devil, as we would say, right? But I oftentimes tell people, and this is not to be religious, this is just figuratively speaking. We don't believe in ghouls and goblins, but figuratively speaking, a lot of times when you conceive that something may be an act of the devil, it can be an undertaking of God. But we misinterpret it because we would like life to be handed to us without worry, without drama, without trauma. But the reality is we become greater only when we're confronted with adversity. And most of us will be consumed by that mire. Most of us will be consumed by the trauma. Most of us will be consumed by depression, consumed by anger, consumed by low emotions. Very few of us have the ability to transcend when met with that adversity, to meet it head on, and or allow those emotions corresponding with the same to subside so you don't mess up the money. And you may say, man, but everything ain't about money, and I hear that. But the last thing you need, after you put a lot of hard work, effort, and dedication into your craft, or a vision that you have and is yet to materialize, is yet to come to fruition, the last thing you need is to be so down and depressed about your life's circumstances, or your death. I would rather say your death's circumstances. The last thing you need is to throw away all the effort and the energy. So I'm saying this to you guys because it's highly imperative that no matter what you're going through, you don't use it as an excuse to work any harder than you already have to go forward in what you're doing in life. And this is some real talk, man, because I know it ain't easy, right? But this shit ain't designed for it to be easy. And every time you're about to make it to the next level, there's something right there that poses as your greatest distraction to stop you from doing that which you were destined to fulfill at your highest level. You're destined to fail and you're destined to succeed. This is what people don't understand. You know, you have several ways that this story could play out, and they're all written. It's a multiverse, it's multidimensional. There's several opportunities for you to thrive in this existence. It's no different from when you go to the sneaker store and you make a choice amongst the choices that have been selected for you. So you, in one sense, you do have free will because you're choosing what you want. In another sense, someone chose amongst the choices you would choose from. So it's 50-50. It's kind of a toss-up, right? And so that's how life is. Your success has many different roads. You could succeed on any of a number of different ways. You could definitely succeed. That's a fact. And you could definitely fail several different ways too. That's a fact. All of it is predestined. So most of us got this idea from TV. There's only one destination, you know, or the religious world will have you think whatever happens to you, that's just exactly the only thing that was the possibility for it to happen. No. You have several possibilities of success and several possibilities of failure and several possibilities of just being right in between. It's all about the decisions we choose to make. And no matter what decision you make, there's always a way to think your way into and think your way out of a scenario. So don't sit there for one moment thinking that, you know what, you can't transcend. Don't sit there thinking for one moment like, damn, I'm so overwhelmed. You know, your woman left you and it's breaking your heart. Someone else is dying and that got your heart. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe things are a little more perplexing. Maybe your friends betrayed you. Maybe your own sibling betrayed you. I know it's rough out here. I know it's rough. But don't fuck up the money. And I know we hate to talk about the money. I know we hate to talk about it because we've been taught to kind of look at it in disdain. We always being told it's not worth all of that. It's not all of that. And I get it. I totally understand. But that's not where I'm coming from. I'm not telling you money is everything. I'm telling you that we are able to create better opportunities for our friends and our family by way of this money. And we can't afford to mess up the money because we're depressed. We can't afford to do lesser by our children because we was going through some kind of anxiety. We was overwhelmed with stress. Don't mess up the money, people. And I know it's difficult. And I know you're going through the struggle. But we got to come up out of that. And it doesn't mean don't bleed. It doesn't mean don't hurt. It doesn't mean don't identify with the pain. In fact, identify with the fact that you're hurting. But the challenge is what's going to make you great, and the challenge is what's going to magnetize you to better people, places, and things. The challenge is what's going to make you persevere. And at the same rate, you got to allow time to make change. Do right by you in this universe. Sometimes it's just a matter of time, and things can't change soon enough because you're hurt. But over time, you heal. And sometimes things work out exactly the way you want in that one situation. And when it does, and if it does, what do you have other than all the left obligations? The obligations you left over there, you wasn't doing nothing. So now you finally get your way, but you've done nothing with your time other than soak and sob. And now you've put yourself at a great compromise in the future. Cash is King, Credit is Queen courses today. BrotherPolight.com. Cash is King, Credit is Queen is today. You'll get your $100,000 off the course. I showed you two different ways. Our last class, the two different roads you could take to make $100,000. Some of you could take both roads. That'd be over $200,000 minimum. That's Cash is King, Credit is Queen. We doing that today too. BrotherPolight.com. We also doing BP Contract Killers class. That's today too. So don't worry about it. We got that going. Both classes will be up today. BP Contract Killers class and Cash is King, Credit is Queen Credit Restoration class. You'll learn how to boost your credit scores, plural. remove the negative items off your report, add positive items to your report. Make sure you get access to 6 figures. All of that is there today, so don't worry about it. Which Roy is this? I don't know what Roy that is. Word. But yeah, so when I'm telling you, like, and I even coach myself, because like I said, everybody goes through something. Everybody goes through something. It's sad because we as a community, the more successful you are, the more people hope that something's going wrong so they could turn around and say, you see, that's because you're not connected to God. Or you see, that's because you're not part of my religion. Or you see, money can't make you happy, da-da-da-da. That's what people do. So it's sad because even if I wanted to use my people as an outlet to connect with them, I would have to think twice, because people are just sitting there laying in wait and they just can't wait until they hear something's going wrong by you. That's the people we've become. So in your lives, I'm sure there's a lot of people who just would love to see you fail as well, because it happens on every level. Some levels are more grandeur than others, but nonetheless, whether it be a microcosm or macrocosm, it's just sad because it exists at every level. You know what I'm saying? And you got to understand that that's part of this existence. Part of this existence is going through the pain. That's how you know that you're conscious. That's how you know you're aware. The pain is always a reminder. The more you feel, the more you exist. You feel what I'm saying? That feeling is a very, very dangerous sensation if you don't have the knowledge to interpret what's taking place at best. But there's no existence without this pain. This shit is designed for you to lose people, and you never know how you're going to lose them along the way. It's just designed that way. You grow up with people and then they die. Like, it's just like that. You go, and sometimes you gotta watch them on decline slowly. It's a wild world. This world is wild, man. You just can't mess up the money. I'm gonna keep saying it again. And I was about to talk about neuroplasticity, because the challenges helps your brain to reshape and grow. So the more challenges that you endure, meaning don't run from the challenge, you see it face on. The more we engage the challenge, the more we take on the challenge, the better we are able to thrive now and later on. If you run from the challenge, if you run from the opportunity to face your fears, if you run from the opportunity to just heal, if you don't do the necessary things like meditation, prayer, introspection, contemplation, accountability, just accepting where you're accountable at, accepting that decisions that you may have made may have cost you amazing opportunities with people and things. If you don't come to terms, if you don't conduct the exercises that suffice for you to indulge in order to reshape your mind, then your perception becomes compromised. And that perception I'm talking about is the perception of yourself. And so long as you have a compromised perception of self, and everyone's perception is a hallucination. Reality is a hallucination. It's just we accept reality for what it is when we agree with the hallucination. It's a whole nother conversation. But this whole shit is illusory. This whole thing is holographic depictions projected from our DNA. What we see ourselves as and what we see others as is all illusory. The brain takes in data in the form of geometric shapes and light, and that interpretation in turn becomes what you think you're dealing with day to day. So it's not me to tell you you're not who you say you are. No one is who they think they are. This is a fact. No, you know, we can play a bunch of optical illusion games and we'll realize the assumptions that the brain makes on a day-to-day basis based on its level of anticipation. Right? So like I could do this. I could do this. Listen to that. Listen to that. Y'all hear that? Now I could say, I know what I did. I know what I did. I know what I did. Now watch this. So now you think your brain is saying, oh, he's saying I know what I did. But I actually was saying that's not what it is. But what your brain is going to do is assume, once it makes a connection with something else, oh, that's what he's saying. Nope, that's not what I was saying in the beginning. But that's the type of false perception that takes place day to day. You know, your brain just makes presumptions that certain things are there that's not there because you have an anticipation of it being there. Sometimes people talk and you think you know where they're coming from and you really don't. But that's based on previous experiences and reservations that you may have. So, you know, that's how it be, man. That's how it be. Shit is illusion, man. We're not who we think we are. And that's all right. That's all right. We're not who we think we are. So what do we do about that situation? Well, if we're not who we think we are, and that's a fact, then the only thing that we can do is what? Create who we would like to be amongst the rest of the populace. How about that? So we're not who we think we are. And once you come to terms with the fact that you're not who you think you are, you'll start creating who you will be. And that may sound weird, but even when you look at the word personality or person, etymologically, before you get to personas, two sounds, the first thing you get is mask. So person literally means mask. This is who you give people an impression that you are. When people meet you, you have your person. You come in a certain personage. See that word? Coming in the personage. When you hear people use that word personage, somebody's coming in a personage, that's because they're wearing a mask, figuratively speaking. And they're showing you the side of you. They're showing you the side of themselves that's the most marketable, but not necessarily them. And everyone is guilty of that. And some of us actually start believing that we are who we market ourselves to other people to be. Now, it doesn't mean that if you present yourself as a great person that you're not great. It doesn't mean that. But you know, we all fall in love with each other until we get to really know each other. And then the real question is, can you accept the fact that there's parts of people that you didn't know exist? Can you still love that person? But that brings about a fear that you may not be who you think you are because someone wasn't who you thought they was. I know all that shit sounds confusing, and I'm not really looking to get into that right now. I just want to bring it back to, I know people are betraying you. I know there's a lot of letdowns. Some of you have been laid off. I know some of you have been hurt by others. But understand, if it's someone that loves you, most times they ain't mean to hurt you. That's a fact. If it's someone that loves you, I mean, it's just the way of the world. Like, you know, I got family members that say they love me, and I'm like, yo, if you figure that I love you, then why don't you eat better so you don't put me in a position where I got to be there for you when cancer plays its toll. I don't want to have to be there for you while you have diabetes. So since you love me, part of you loving me is to make sure you don't put me through that situation, which in turn would represent you loving yourself. But then the love changes because they're addicted to the food. So then you love the food more than you love me. I could think about it on so many different levels, but then everyone's life is their own responsibility. Hence the term responsibility. So it's levels to it. So this love thing gets a little tricky too, you know? Love gets a little tricky too. Because what does that really mean? You know, a child shouldn't have to bury their parent prematurely because of the decision making of their parent. It's part of the process. And oftentimes people get into relationships and they believe that they shouldn't be hurt now that they're in love. But it's really the opposite. You know, the best relationships are the ones that were able to thrive during their greatest test, because a lot of people have this false presumption that in order for you to be in a relationship with me, you should never hurt me on a certain level. But in actuality, to really be in love with someone is to be vulnerable. And that vulnerability demands that you be hurt at some point or the other during that relationship. So you could make a determination if it's worth the pain. It's not an excuse for anyone hurting you. It's just a reality. You know, how strong is your love for that person if you would just quit on them because you finally got hurt? Love is about vulnerability. We'll do a class on that one. It's about vulnerability. You got to be vulnerable. And in order for you to substantiate that love, the pain has to come. And it has to be a pain that you can't anticipate. It's going to come. And when it comes, it's going to hit. When that shit hit, it's going to be crazy. And most times, we be like this. Nah, that type of pain, yo, the pain hurts so much, we leave the relationship. Because we don't want to feel that pain again. But you see, that's when it normally gets good. If you can make it through it. If you can make it through it. Word up. Real stuff. Had to get a moment of silence for that. I don't know if I want to do podcasts, man. I don't know if I want to do that. I'll be wanting to, but I don't know if I got the time, man. I don't want nobody bothering me about not being as consistent. The UCC course is not done. We got plenty more to go with UCC. Not this weekend, but next weekend we're back up and running with UCC and cryptocurrency. It's like, you know what I'm going through right now. I hear you, my brother. Yeah. You know, we all go through it. You know, personally, I'm going through something with my pops, man. But, you know, he walked out on us. I started to connect with him, and then he's sick, you know. But he choose to smoke and choose to drink and eat swine. What you going to do? You know, I finally decided to reconnect with him, and, you know, it is what it is. Part of the process, right? Part of the process. And then I got to make decisions about how much time do I dedicate towards him when I've already built up such a powerful structure in my world, a powerful economic structure in my world. You know, it's decisions you got to make, because if he makes decisions that would only further his decline, how incumbent it is for me to just make sure I'm a witness where he is in his city, in his state, to be right there by his side and watch that, where I have a family now. I have things that I'm building up. I have meetings that I have to go to. You know, I work real hard so I could create a situation viable enough for my children that in my absence they would still be able to perpetuate my success in the form of wealth stewardship. So, you know, many people in my family will be like, yo, he never shows up when people are on decline or when people dying, but they don't understand that your life is your responsibility. If I see you making certain effort to make strides towards better change, I meet you some of the way, not all the way still, because our life is our responsibility. And same for my children. I don't want my children's life suspended because of decisions that I chose to make. I want them to continue moving forward because those weird rules that people make up is not legitimate, especially if we wasn't born in a situation where we were privy to spend that kind of time. I broke the generational curse of poverty in my family. I broke that generational curse. And I could go right back in there, and it could be another generation right after me, right back in it, if I don't make some sharp decisions right now. So I got to think long term for who comes after me. Or I could just say, fuck all the work and activity I put in. Let me deal with this right now. So, you got to look like you heartless sometimes. You got to look like you heartless sometimes. Real talk. So you got to make the decisions that's best for you. You can't make decisions based on what other people would feel. Word up. So, I know you guys are going through it, but you gotta keep going no matter what. And it's nothing wrong with revisiting the thought process. Just make sure the thought process doesn't consume your thinking and take you away from your goals and your paths. Yeah, it's brotherpolight.com. Hey, Roy. Yeah. Yo, DM me, Roy. Go to brother_polite and forward me your phone number. I'll call you right after this. I don't know. I've been bumping into a lot of people online that I really love, man. Yeah, I love that brother, man. He's a good brother, man. Roy, you can inbox me on Facebook, but please just DM me on Instagram. DM me. Just tell me it's you and leave your phone number. That's my man. I be worrying about, every now and then I periodically worry about certain people that during my path have contributed to me in some shape, form, or fashion. He's one of them, man. I see y'all like this live, man. That's good. Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm chilling. Like I already said it. I ain't want to, like I said, I ain't looking to do no depressing thing, but I need to clear my mind myself. I'm worried about my pops. I worry about my family. It's, you just think about things. Everybody go through the moments. I'm coming out of a meditation. I meditate, then I contemplate. I pray, put the energy out there. Then I meditate to receive. So I send the message, then I receive. Then I introspect. And after that, I contemplate. Then I vent. So I'm in the venting mode right now. I'm a real mental being. So I go through so many different layers. So that way when I make a decision, I know where I'm at. So I know typically you see me turned up and moving around and doing my thing, but I'm just kind of at a moment of solitude. And normally I don't go live after I do my prayer, my meditation, my introspection, my contemplation, and then my venting. Normally I would then vent maybe to my wives, most likely. First I vent to the universe in the form of a prayer. But I decided, I want to go on the stream because a couple people that I know, several people I know going through something. And I'm like, damn, it must be going around. A lot of people going through something. So then someone told me in my spirit that I should communicate with you guys because we're all at different stages of coming out of turmoil, heading into turmoil, in the middle of it, how to respond to it. So something in my spirit said that the people that have come on this live, they would take heed to this message and it would be right on time. So that's why I'm coming at you with that vibe. But I'm always going to tell you don't mess up the money, though. I'm always going to tell you that. I'm always going to tell you don't mess up the money. Because this is where we fail a lot of times. Other races have been, part of their blessing is they're more callous than us. You know, part of their blessings is that they're more callous in a lot of ways, so they can keep their business going while people are being oppressed or while people are dying. With us, we're such an emotional people. We like to say we're not, but we're so emotional. Damn near everything stops when we're afflicted in our heart. Everything stops. You feel what I'm saying? Someone dies, someone break up, everything stops. And we in there forever. But you can make it out of it. And in fact, you're already out of it. You got to get out of there here. You know, you can't physically get out of any situation. You got to get out of here. Once that shit is out of here, you can handle it. I don't care if you move, if you run away. I'm not picking up the phone no more. I'm not going to talk to that person. If it's not out of here, it still exists. Yeah, it sucks being an empath. I hear that. I hear that. Yeah, word. So, you know, just thinking, man. But, you know, I just deal with the logic about things. I don't really sit here. I'm not built like no one in my family. I'm built different. And that's okay. You know, and I don't make decisions based on what the world would suggest is the right decision. Like, I turn around and tell you I love money and feel no way about it. Because I reconcile within myself that people out here, they love that car, they love that sweater. Oh, I love those shoes. I love that cake. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody mad that someone loves cake or loves shoes or loves a car or loves sweaters. I love this TV show. But then when I say I love money, then all hell breaks loose. And I'm wrong when I say I love money. So you see, people are full of it. They got a personal issue with bread. They got a personal issue with money. I don't. So I got to accept other people's inequities or shortcomings or misinterpretations, their fallacies, their emotions, their habits. I don't have to accept what everybody else accepts. That's what makes us so powerful. The ability to choose amongst the choices chosen for us and to realize they was chosen for us is one of the greatest gifts. And within the choices that's made available to us, some of us will never dare to choose amongst the least popular options. And that's why I am. I have a tendency to choose amongst the least popular options, not because that's my goal, but it's just because I think different, and I'm willing to accept the fact that I think different. But at the end of the day, I know the choices have already been laid down. The board has already been set. It's all a game. This person saying this ain't polite. I don't know what you're talking about. My first 40 books says this is polite. Word. You know what I'm saying? And then for those of you who say, yo, I always talk about bread, all through the comment section, no matter what I'm talking about, people still talking to me about money. And I ain't knocking it. But just know, it don't be me. I be responding because, you know, it's part of my role in this existence. But yeah, I love you guys, man. Word up. And I'm here for you all. Because like I said, yeah, brotherpolight.com. Go to brotherpolight.com. That's my only website. I don't never ask you guys to DM me or inbox me. Those are fake pages. I never ask you to DM me or inbox me. You know, I just told my boy Roy to hit me up on Instagram. That I did do. But I'm not going to write nothing down and send you a message in my comment section saying to DM me or inbox me. Those are fake pages. All you got to do is go to brotherpolight.com. If it don't look like my page, it ain't me. I ain't got no crypto something going on. No, just put some money into this account. I ain't got no prizes going on. Those are some fake pages. I don't put a comma at the end of my name, a dot at the end of my name. Some of them just looks like my name as well. All you got to do is go to brotherpolight.com. That's my only website. There's no reason to trust anybody's website, even if they coming in my name, if they are not suggesting to you to go to brotherpolight.com. That's my only website. Okay, so if you see something that says inbox me, DM me, that's not me. Hit me up. I don't do none of that. I don't write none of that. Those are fake pages. Peace to the brother from Italy. Yeah, it's mad fake pages. You know, they out there to stop the movement. Anything to put something negative on my name, but it's all good. I ain't tripping. so bright out here, I can't even see the screen myself. Man, fake pages, I already know. Word up. But yeah, so you know the goal is don't quit, people. That's the moral of the story. Just don't quit. And don't think you're the only one going through it. Everybody goes through it. Don't think for one moment that everybody's situation is just funny games every single day. Nah. The goal is to get as many funny games as you can get day to day, but then every now and then shit slows down and you got to deal with real life responsibilities and obligations. But no, it's part of the game. You got to have the ebbs and flows. You got to have the undercurrents. Shit, it got to oscillate. You got to have the inconsistencies as part of consistency. It's part of the world. Word up. Yeah, them fake pages is ridiculous. You know, just block them, report them, take the time out, please. Mark it as spam, mark it as fake page. Take the time out. If everybody did it, it'll slow it down a little bit. You know, if everybody just took the time out when they get reached out by a fake Brother Polight page, just block that damn thing, man. I don't reach out to people on purpose just so people know it's not me. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. You got to go to my site and find out how to get in touch with me, because I don't do it on social media just so people know it is not me. Word. I always get told I sound like Jay-Z. From Brooklyn, so it's more likely it's a Brooklyn accent than it is anything else. I'll definitely leave this video up. I won't take it down. Holistic health class is going to start back in April next month. Peace to the Most High. Dope game. You love the vibe, no doubt, Mel Williams. You know, we got to flip it up sometimes, you know, 'cause sometimes, you know, people see the money, the cars, and women and everything like that. And I don't want to deceive people into thinking like, you know, I go through adversity, I go through hardships, but it's not my responsibility to show you them per se. What's my responsibility is to show you the end result, the final product, to let you know, like, with all the success you see that I have, yo, I go through shit too, like anybody else. I just don't let it consume me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, no matter what I go through, I still got my eyes on the prize. And so, the next time I build with you guys is going to be about making money sport. We got to make money sport. It's the main reason why we ain't getting it. Because in any other sport, you need a trainer or you need a coach. But when it comes to money, we just wing it, and that don't even make no sense. It's like, if we saw it as the sport it is, why do you play video games? You play video games for the challenge. Mentally, right? Neuroplasticity. You got to remember this. Whenever you are challenged by something, your brain literally reshapes. And depending on what it is that you challenge yourself to do, you'll be able to thrive at that which you're constantly practicing over and over. This is why people have a greater inclination towards sports. Some people have a greater inclination towards puzzles, literature, science, whatever the case is, music. It's because whatever you constantly are into, that's what your brain shapes. It shapes a world, or it fabricates that form of existence and makes that part of existence cater to you, where you have inclinations towards. So if you watch nothing but nigga shit and just BS, then that's ideally the type of person you're going to be in this world. You're going to be someone inclined for the BS and dealing with a bunch of drama. That's how that works. Real talk. So the goal is, you know, a lot of times I don't listen to no music, barely watch TV. It has to be educational or maybe it's sports. I don't really indulge in conversations unless it's enlightening. Because, you know, I need to be able to respond quick enough. So, like, a person that's boxing constantly, they got a twitch. Their reflexes is on. You know, their proprioceptors relay information to the central nervous system. The endocrine system gets involved and realizes how much instructions in the form of hormones need to be released day to day based on your reality, your experience. We got to have a real conversation about this, man. And so, you practice that sport enough, naturally your ability to heal will be quicker than the average person, because healing is on high demand for someone that has to take contact. And reflexes are going to be better, because reflexes are on high demand because of the level of contact and the type of contact you're looking to avoid. So likewise, when we make money sport, it'll change your reflexes, your understanding for when to invest and when not to invest. You know, you won't have as much as fear. Like, some people have fear when they go into fighting, but then you have boxers, they don't have the same fear based on ignorance that most people will have going into a fight, when most people don't fight, because they practice fighting a lot. It doesn't mean they're totally oblivious to fear. It just means they have a different level of fear, and their fear is more calculated. It's not predicated upon just ignorance. You know, they have intelligent fears and fears from experience, but, you know, fears of possibly losing, but not fear of the fight itself. So with money being sport, you feel what I'm saying? Okay.
Okay.
All right, thanks, man. With money being sport, if you keep studying money, if you keep studying how to make it, if you realize in every sport there's a challenge, you know, whether you're looking to end the video game, whether you're looking to make that final shot or you have to pass it, whether you boxing, you playing football, there's always that adversity, there's always the confrontation, there's always the drama, there's always the pressure. And so we just turn around, expect to make money. We're scared of the risk. Like, we're scared of being knocked out. That's basically what the risk is. We're scared of the risk. We're scared of that contact. And then, you know, we don't even get a coach. We don't get a trainer. But we want to be professional without the training, without the coaching. Professional meaning we want to make $1 million. We want hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you want to be in the pros, but you don't want to go through no professional training. So money's the only sport where nobody looks at our people like, that's pretty dumb. You have no knowledge in this sport whatsoever, but you just jump in there with the pros and think it's supposed to work out, then get mad when you lose your bread. That's why I have those courses set up. The courses are designed for you to get involved in the sport. And the courses is really about neuroplasticity, to get you to engage a certain level of thinking, a thought protocol, if you will, so consistently that eventually it becomes you and you're built like that. So then you don't have the same questions other people have. You don't have the same fears other people have. You feel me? Like, let's say there's April 17th. And then there's also the tax extension that's been brought up for May. But, you know, April 17th for businesses, the tax, that's the deadline to pay your taxes. Most people don't give a damn about that shit. But I do, because I'm making millions of dollars. You feel what I'm saying? And I see you, Roy. I do. I'm making millions of dollars. So guess what? I gotta look at this shit a little different, you heard? Because if you ain't paying attention, like I told you before, you ain't a millionaire until you make your second million. Because they want to take like $350 out of your first million. So I got a business I just created that in less than a year, I'm already heading towards 2 million. So technically, they want 700 bands out of that. That means I only get to keep 1.3 million. Until we go into the nuances and we go, okay, it's the first time this business got set up. So that accounts for something. My first year of business, mad expenses. And I got employees. You know, then there's losses. So all that helps out. So the right accountant, I won't be paying no $700,000 for the 2 M's. You know what I'm saying? But if you're just doing nothing and you whatless, they want about 700 bands out of 2 million. And it's even worse now because of Biden. Yeah, y'all fuck with him and you talk all that poor people shit. then you become an entrepreneur and you really, or industrialist, and you start making some real bread. Like, where's Trump at? Don't mean he does everything else good. Just mean in that particular facet of finance, he don't body slam us like Biden. God damn. So, you know, I got to really be on my toes. I'm not really playing around. Oh, it's very easy for you to turn around, get this money, start making it like you never made it before. And then this is another thing. So family just see the money being made, but they don't realize, like, yeah, okay, I'm a multi-millionaire, but depending on how I already spent some money and this, that, and the third, technically I don't have no money to be just giving away right now. You got to let me ride for a couple months, family, because I got to double back and make sure I'm ready for that final date. And of course, I'm not going to wait to the last date to file my taxes either. And I believe in, give them extra just in case. So they will be seeing the extra 5 figures. So all that got to get figured out. So when you coming into the month of April, people that know, if you know, you know, this ain't the time to be asking me for no bread. You gotta see me like in, I would say, June. You gotta see me in the month of June at the earliest. Because you never know if I gotta clean up, do things a little different. You know, that's how this tax season works, man. You gotta pay attention, man. You gotta pay attention. And the thing is, they would love for me to make millions upon millions of dollars. I tell you, 2 entities that would love for me to make millions and millions of dollars and get caught lacking: the IRS and black people. Now, black people, anytime I show money on the screen, yeah, I know the IRS is watching you. Like, why would you even hope that on somebody? Why would you even wish that on somebody? That's crazy. Like, this is why it's so hard for us to heal in our community when we're dealing with something, because we can't even use each other as an outlet because we over here preying on each other's demise. That's true. Bernadette Walker, that's absolutely true. It's the difference between racism and patriotism. And most black people don't know the difference. You ain't never lie. Real talk. So yeah, so people just be thinking, oh, you making bread so you could give me something. But they don't understand, like, all that money being made, these motherfuckers trying to take damn near half the money you make. They trying to take half the bread you make. So nah. Yeah, cats is making money. Nigga, I had to work hard and double up. I had to double up and make 2 M's to secure 1. These niggas ain't playing. They not playing. I ain't got no time for that mortgage talk and not paying taxes either. I ain't got no time for that. Too much is on the line. What you do, you play the game. Maybe you get a custodial account for your children. Put 250 grand there. They can't tax up to 250 grand. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's different approaches. That's all I'm saying. There's different approaches how you do it. Buy some nice artwork. Very expensive artwork that appraises for more. Keep my cash on the wall. Buy a Rolls Royce. People think I'm just buying cars foolishly. It's the money on the wheels. I pay the taxes on the Rolls Royce. I ain't got to pay the crazy taxes in the account. You feel what I'm saying? So, in other words, if I put $500,000 into the bank, they're gonna want it somewhere around 170 grand in or around 175, 140 grand, something like that for that 500 grand. But I spend that 500 grand damn near on a car, particularly a Rolls Royce, a little less, not 500,000, maybe 400,000, 380, and then I'll just be paying $1,800, $2,000 taxes a year on it. I do that for 10 years. Shit, even 20, I still wouldn't be paying the amount of money I would have had to pay on 500,000 in the bank account that I would have to pay in taxes on the vehicle. And if we consider how the value of the vehicle goes down from one year to the next, upon me turning it in and still cashing it out, even if it devalues on a year-to-year basis, plus the taxes I pay on the car on a year-to-year basis, it still wouldn't equate to the amount of money I had to pay in taxes with that money being in the bank account versus me spending that money on a car and being able to cash out whenever I want between now and 20 years or more. So it's just supreme math. So now I got my money on wheels. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother conversation. That's a different conversation. So to the naked eye, it's just a car and it's just painting. To the naked eye. To the naked eye, that's what that is. But I'm just somewhere different. Word. You know what I'm saying? To the naked eye. Word up. To the naked eye, it's just, oh, he's spending his money stupid. But, you know, it's called tax shelters. You know, run for shelter when you're making this bread. You heard? You heard? But nigga, I ain't dumb now. We just gotta build with each other. We gotta build. So, you know, I would have never made it to the point of making real money. Or substantial amount of money. I like saying real money. People are funny. I would never made it to the point of making a substantial amount of money if I wasn't already studying what to do with it. The first thing I did was decide to study what to do with the money. That's substantial. That was the first thing I decided to do. I said, I'm going to study what do I do when I get to that moment. And just doing that, neuroplasticity, just doing that brought me into the moment. Because studying what I'm going to do with millions of dollars that I don't have just warrants the reality of me having it. Because then what I was studying it for. See? That's the power of manifestation. I spent so many years figuring out what to do with a substantial amount of money that eventually I stumbled across being able to make a substantial amount of money. That's why when I teach my people in the courses, I always say I don't be teaching these courses just so you can learn how to make $100, $200. That's why I'm blessed. Students becoming millionaires. I love posting these receipts. You know, we're going to see some good work this week too coming. Yo, listen to me, man, for real. I never spend my time talking to my people about no nickels and damn dimes. I ain't got no time for that. So I teach people the same way I taught myself, where I'm like, yo, stakes are high. I'm teaching you things based on what a wealthy man and wealthy woman should know. And it all makes sense. It'll all make sense later on. But if you sitting there just, yo, I just need to get $200, $300, don't take the course. The course is for people that want to make a substantial amount of money. So I'm already training you how to make that. The plays that we looking to make is so we can level up big time. We making big plays. We don't got no time for the confusion. That's what we doing at brotherpolight.com. Ain't got no time to be talking to y'all about no nickel and diamond. Because I'm going to tell you, saving money is kind of stupid. And that sounds crazy. But what I mean by that is leaving money somewhere where it's not growing is dumb. Because the value of the dollar is going down day to day, incrementally. So if you just plan to just have money sitting there just for no reason, it's just sitting there, versus putting your money somewhere where you can employ compound interest, or you could put your money in commodities, you could put your money in bonds, you could put your money in a dividend reinvestment program to ensure, based on compound interest, that 10 years from now, 20 years from now, the $1,500 that you got turns to $20,000 or $30,000 or what have you. That's the vibe. That's what we want to do. But just holding money and leaving it there, go ahead and hold that $10,000. 10 years from now, that $10,000 would be worth 6, 7, 8,000. About 6 or 7,000. Yeah, so saving money's dumb. But the question is, if you have money that you plan on not touching, then place it somewhere where it will grow in due time. So most people's idea of saving is, I'm just going to put this money here so when I need it, I can reach it. No, if you really real, you got to start having money that you don't plan to reach. And say to that money, I'll see you in 10 years. I'll see you in 5. That's how you build wealth. But when you're talking to a people who rely on getting paid week to week, getting paid month to month, that's the issue. That is the biggest problem. You know, because your brain is designed, neuroplasticity, right? So my brain is designed to get I get paid every day, every single day. But when your brain is wired to get paid once a week or once every 2 weeks or once a month. Then when someone tells you, yo, put your money up and say goodbye to it, take a look at it next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. They look at you like you're crazy because they're under the week-to-week program, the bi-weekly program, the month-to-month program. So you sound stupid to them. You sound crazy. You sound unrealistic. Because these are the week-to-week, bi-weekly, month-to-month people. And you telling them, check up on your money next year and 2 years from now and 5 years from now. But this is how we get our ass bust, because compound interest. Man, you put $1,000, $2,000 into something, into some stocks, and you employ the snowball effect. And man, in 5 years, that $2,000 becomes 20, 30, another 10 years on top of that. You in the 50s, 60s. From the same $2,000, $10,000, what have you. Compound interest snowball effect. Meanwhile, this Negro here just left the money here, and he proud because he been having that money held up for a year or two with no interest. It doesn't matter. You can't tell me you can't take the time out and make sure you got an extra $100 every month for the year, and it's $1,200. Then put that $1,200 into a dividend reinvestment program. Never look at it again. At least 20 years from now, that $1,200 would be over $30,000. That's facts. That's facts. At least an extra $100 at the end of every month. You set yourself up for 20 years from now for that to be about $30,000. But that shit sounds stupid, though. It sounds stupid. Because who want to wait 20 years? But guess what? How old are you now? 20 years will come, provided you're alive. I always say money's good to have so long as you ain't die. Just in case you don't die, money's always good to have. But you know, it just sounds... Yo, you could put $100 up every month, or you could put $50 up every month. You can. You got the ability to do that. And if you got the ability to do that, take your time. Time is what we do have technically. Before you turn around, 20 years will come. You don't know what kind of state of condition you'll be in, but at least you can say, man, at least that $1,200 by itself grew to 30 grand. Because then if you do it again another year, you're going to have over 60 grand. And if you do that $1,200 again a third year and employ the same science, you see where that's going? That in 20 years from that time, you make sure you have 6 figures that you didn't have to sweat for. But can we think 20 years down the line? I can, because I know I don't want to be busting my ass working for shit. I'm 37 years old. Fuck, I look like grinding when I'm 57. That's that crazy stuff they be talking about. Yo, retire at 66, but if you retire at 67, we'll give you more benefits. What fucking benefit? By the time you get access to your pension plan, that shit is trash because of hyperinflation. It's trash. Yeah. Go to brotherpolight.com. When did it let me? It's wild. It won't let me pin it. Go to brotherpolight.com. But anyway, it was great building with you, good brothers and sisters. It was just a vibe. If you're going through something, stick through it. Happens to the best of us. It happens to the best of us. But don't spend your existence just sobbing and dragging your feet. Don't do that. Don't spend your existence just down on your luck and depressed, sad. Don't spend your existence like that. This is a gift. You gotta do the best you can with the years you've been given on this planet. We're getting too old. A lot of us too old to be fucking up the rest of these years just depressed because some relationship, because someone's dying, someone betrayed you. These are the main things that's going on in our people world that got them just stagnant. It make you feel like not doing nothing every day because you mourning someone's death or they're about to die. You healing from a relationship. It's fucking you up. And it got you like you don't want to move your legs. You don't want to go through that. So identify with it, but don't stop the process. Force yourself to resist and fight. You put up a fight, there's mechanisms and chemicals in your body that's going to assist you. Mechanisms that's going to assist you in the process of healing. You'll be all right. I guaranteed it. You guys will be all right. Oh, thank you. Definitely share the video. You guys are going to be all right, man. It's just when you come out of it, some of us be in there for 2, 3, 4 years, man. Come out for air, you got to start all over. So let me just talk to you now. Manage your life better. You know, your life is a portfolio in itself. So emotionally, you got to have X amount of time you invest into emotion. Another time into your own development. Another time into your family. You know, so it's about diversification. You got to treat your life just like a portfolio and how you spend your time. And what's your greatest investments? You invest a lot of your time and energy arguing with somebody. What is your greatest investments? Yeah. So I'm not saying don't put any time in to dealing with your emotions and personal life. You can't do that. You'll be unbalanced. You'll be imbalanced. You gotta put time in, but how much time will you dedicate or invest into things that may not necessarily contribute to you in ways that you need the most? I see a lot of you say you're going through something, so you see, I get it. I felt that. I felt it, man. I said, yo. And everybody hasn't been given the tools, nor have they practiced using those tools to come out of the mire, the muck and the mire. Everybody hasn't been blessed to take the time out and practice. I done traveled all over the world and learned so many things from so many different people of various cultures. And I adopted a lot of strategies and techniques to help me get through hard times. So I'm here for you all. I love you all. BrotherPolight.com. Reshape your brain. Start training. Make your money. Take your mind and your attention off of some of the drama that you have going on in your life, and study how to create better opportunities in your life. Switch your thought process. Study a new language. Read some of those books that's on the site. Sovereign Bible. Supreme Mathematics, Inception of the Vesicle Pieces. If you're going through something, read that Supreme Mathematics book or Sovereign Bible, Head of the Crown, the purple book on BrotherPolight.com. If you're going through something, read one of those two or get those two books. Sovereign Bible, the purple book, it says Head of the Crown. We call it the Sovereign Bible in our community. Or read Supreme Mathematics, Inception of the Vesicle Pieces. That'll get you through it. That'll take your mind and have you somewhere different. I promise you that. You know? And then at the very least, get into the courses and say, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. It's called mental transmutation. Emotional transmutation. You're going to take that same energy that's causing you to think about the same thing over and over and over that's pulling you down, and you're going to utilize that energy that brings you down, and you're going to convert it into productivity. You're going to take those emotions that make you keep thinking about the same situation over and over. You're going to defer your attention to learning how to make some money. And with these courses, then you're going to get opportunities on what you should do with the money, or what you can do with the money potentially for things that you would like to do. Maybe travel the world, do things for your daughter or your son. And eventually you stick with it long enough. Whenever you feel down, you'll have a sudden sensation to study. So every time you feel depressed, you study. Then eventually you won't even know you're depressed, because it'll translate or transmute into a yearning to study. I have my own publishing company, so I'm not going to use Amazon. Just go to BrotherPolight.com. Peace and many blessings to you guys. I'll see you in class tonight. You know how we do. Go to class today and make money tomorrow. You already know. Peace and many blessings. I'm glad I could be of huge service to you good brothers and sisters. BrotherPolight.com.